you guys can hear me. There's nobody here. It's okay. There we go. Trying a different one tonight. We're gonna try a Zen Garden. Very It's a fucking gorgeous night out right now. It's gorgeous. Like, I don't know whether it's raining still or not. I really don't know. But right now, temperature-wise, c'est magnifique. Literally all the French I know. Alright, it's not all the French I know. I also know we surrender! I don't care who you are. That's funny right there. Alright, what do I want to check on? I want to check on... Okay, so these ones are kind of random here. Not, I mean, like, not super random, but they're not as around the doorsy. Actually, even those weren't really around the doorsy either. I could kind of do this. Look at this. And kind of pull this off a little, and it's like there's only like the thing like at the top that kind of needs to be archway, like, you know. So we kind of get around with doing some other stuff here. Then that'll be kind of cool. The only thing I don't know 100% about with this is not this with the sound, I should say. I don't know if it'll loop or not. I told it to. I just don't know if it will. I added some highlights recently. I don't know if anybody's been able to look at them yet or not. I thought they were kind of funny. They're probably not, but I think they're funny. I did the other night when some, like, you know, old style jazz, you know, instrumental was on or whatever. It sounded very, you know, film noir like, and so I broke out into that like a detective, you know, when she came in the door and, you know, whatever. So I thought it was funny as hell. It's like completely stupid, and it's just like my sense of humor. So I had that one going, and I had what else did I do? The other one the other night was when that thing, the dot, decided to become like borderline sentient, started asking me my name and shit. Because I had an interesting, you know, it was terrifying, honestly. It was legitimately scary. Like, it's like, is this Brian Coates? It's like, what? I mean, last time I had an experience like that, to be quite honest with you, like really had an experience like that, where it's like, is this, you know, kind of like, what's your name, kind of thing, out of someone, you know, and I can't even call that someone, but as close as I can get to it, I guess. Would have been when I actually met my wife, because her friend Tracy had come up to me, and I'd never met her before. She was transplant from Pittsburgh. I worked with my wife for a while, and my wife and I had gone to the same high school, but we didn't hang in the same circles really. But you know, like, I recognized her later on as we were walking over, trying to figure out who the hell the person who just tapped me on my shoulder was. It was just very funny. It was like, so it's like my dot was trying to hit on me, like my wife did. Got to tell on it. And as I said, right now, temperature-wise outside, so I got the window open. Oh, hello, Philippe. You're one of the guys, you're from Colombia, right? Am I correct on that one? We had that nice, good conversation about that. It's been a while. I think you were back when you started following me when I had my older rig, right? Like the like really shitty cameras. I mean, this isn't much better, but it's a little better. I had a better microphone now too. Alright, why do I still hear my son yelling in the basement? It's time for him to go upstairs at this point. One of these days what I have to do... I don't know how I could do it without him knowing, though. That's the only thing. I'd want to do it without him really being aware. So I'd love to mic, like run a mic cord out into the play area where he is, like the gaming area. Did you guys hear his mouth? I mean, one of my favorite things to mess with him in a way about not really, I don't have to really do anything per se, but it just happens naturally. So I like to run over to like hurry downstairs at some point when he's playing his games, so I can try to get down there before he's aware that I'm down there, kind of thing. Just because he gets so caught into it sometimes, and it's fun to watch him try to edit himself once we're down there. Lots of linseed on that. Hopefully it'll keep it wet for a while. This is very... Whoa. I keep messing with the volume and it keeps, not changing. No matter what I do to it. So... that flute is going to get pretty high. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Forgot to do the reference. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. I hope so. Typing in the right spot. Reference photo. And then pop that there. There we go. Cool. Got that done. I think we're going to get through this. I got to get through it. I shouldn't say I think. We're going to. I'm going to think positive, right? Everyone think positively, and everybody's like, positive, you're an asshole. No. Don't think like that. Got legitimately sad today I sent a message to my buddy about it too, because we've been kind of talking about different things that irk us a little bit. I gotta get him in here again at some point. He was on one of my streams a while back. But, I was watching a TED Talk about... There was one about finding just, improving your own happiness kind of situation. One about improving your happiness, specifically at work. And, that latter one especially really kind of threw me off. I was like, dude, I appreciated the guy's sentiments. Definitely would love to be able to live with the concepts he was putting out. I just can't do it where I am. And that was super frustrating to listen to. I mean, I listened to the whole thing. I stuck with it from beginning to end. And it's, basically he said he had gone through. He was he actually died not too long ago either. Like, but he was a psychologist who studied like hope and stuff like that. And he said he had done a study with people who loved their job. You know, he says it's only like 13%, at least of the U.S. population, that actually love their job. And so he asked those people, you know, as much as he could, the people that said they love their job, how, you know, what they do, what makes it, you know, makes them love their job. And for the most part, he said that the people that came back with those "I love my job" things, all similarly shared a story of how they took what were good jobs and they made them great. They nudged their stuff and, you know, their situation in this way or that way to put themselves in a spot where, you know, change their jobs to make a, quote, as he put it, make a good job great. And that's where I got really frustrated because I was like, God damn it, this isn't even a good job. Like, I can't, I'm starting from a pile of dirt. And the other thing that I know about my job is that it doesn't change. You can't, like, this place literally will not change. They've made sure of it, like, this is the way it's set up. And they try to change something of value. Like, you can change all sorts of shit about, like, you know, oh, well, we're going to have, you know, jeans days on Wednesdays too. Ooh. You know, stupid shit like that. But when it comes time to, you know, hey, our plants never seem to hit our dates, you know, or like we regularly have issues building breakers and shit. Like, maybe we fix that stuff. Nah, it can't. It's just the way it always is. You know, maybe we try to, like, our customers have us chase down a lot of stupid shit that they could do on their own. You know, maybe we get sales involved to help them learn how to do it. No, they're not going to do that. It's like we have these tools that they could use, and yeah, but to really put the effort out to really train them to use those tools, well, you know, if they use all those tools, what do they need us for? Well, admittedly, I'd like to be shit canned. Actually, I was thinking about that too. As I'm looking through, you know, I always look and I apply and I apply and I apply and I don't get recalls back or anything like that. I'm telling you, this place has been a black mark on my resume. It's got to be. It's the only thing that makes any sense. They tell us there's more jobs than there are people nowadays, and yet I can't seem to get a fucking callback. But anyway, I had a point. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Oh, but I was applying, yeah, I'm looking around and trying to find places that I'm, like, even remotely may be qualified for, because at this point I'm, like, literally stretching. I'm kind of going with, like, when I first applied for Quest Diagnostics, it was literally, like, my joke job. I literally was applying for it thinking, there's no way I'm getting this one. And I had gotten it, and it was like, oh, okay. So I'm kind of trying to work off of that concept right now at this point. So I'm trying to apply at places where it's like, well, I probably don't have a chance here, but I'm going to apply to it anyway because we elected an unqualified president, and, you know, it's been terrible, but still. You know, I was like, hey, I was unqualified for the Quest one. I turned out to be one of their best keyers, so kind of came out of nowhere on that one. But I was thinking to myself while I was doing all this, I was sending applications out. I'm going, you know, if I was just laid off for a little while, could take some like classes and shit to get myself qualified for some of these spots. That wouldn't be bad. That'd be nice. I could stream more on here. Give this a real shot. You know, there's a couple things I could do. God, the number of paintings I could make, as long as I could keep... That's the only real... absolute, like, thing would be the supplies. I'd have to start selling the shit out of them posters, man. I have to sell all these ones, make another run of like, maybe like the... What's the other one? Let's talk about, oh, the horse shed is the other one I was thinking about making a poster run of. But I have to sell these ones first, and they're not... They have not been moving like I had hoped. And if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, here, I'll send you... Not there's any, I'm just saying one person right now. I don't know if it's Philippe or my mother. Here, let me specifically call out what it is. There we go. I'll push one here too. Why not? I've posted on, you know, and shown them before. Like the one night that I was having a really bad connection issue day, I did like one little quick. Actually, you know what? I did that on Facebook now. As I think about it, I didn't do it on here. I dug up the old cameras and shit. Yeah, that was bad, actually. Anyway, anybody is interested, if anybody is interested, checking this out later on YouTube or whatever, or whoever's here now, those posters are for sale on twoscidestudios.com. They're posters of my first painting after I hadn't painted in 4 years. It's kind of an important piece to me, just on a mental situation. It's a pretty good one too, I think. A lot of people like it. But it's a view of tulips. I was talking about it last night when I was saying about how I want to figure out something for this canvas up here, you know, off to the side. You can't see here, but it's the same size as that one, and which is the same size as the horse shed in winter, which is also the same size as a painting I have called the Harvest. And so I want to make one more like a, you know, they all have like a, you know, the tulips are spring. You know, they weren't intended that way originally. It's just that by the time I got to the horse show, I went, you know what? Let me do like a Four Seasons thing. That'd be kind of cool, you know. Frankie Valley, no. I do like Frankie Valley though. The Four Seasons. Reminds me of driving around with my dad. Yeah. My dad's singing wildly off key. If you guys wonder where I get that from, it's right there. Going long road trips and shit. It's Frankie Valley, Beach Boys, and Peter, Paul, and Mary. Who else do you listen to a lot? Whenever we drive around. I'm trying to think who else was always in the car. Listen, everybody falls asleep because of this. Just let me know. I'm umbrella from asleep. Shh, don't ask questions. I know I talked about this last night. But I gotta say, he's getting more and more on my good side, man. The Flyers' new mascot, Gritty, he's a fucking mess, man. But he actually kind of works now. They're not afraid to go like a little wild with him. Like at least I'm pretty sure it's the official Facebook page of him. Like, he's made some really wild off-color jokes already on that Facebook page, and I mean, I know it's not him. I mean, it's somebody. I mean, maybe it is the guy that's in the suit. I don't know, but he's a cuckoo cat, man. I'm digging it. I love my Flyers, and I tried to explain to somebody a long time ago. I made definitely like a very not PC statement about one Mr. Sidney Crosby. I'll just leave it at that. And my buddy called me out, and rightfully so, to a degree. And I had to just explain to him, I'm like, look, I just want you to understand. And it's not really an excuse. It's just sort of I'm not apologizing. I just want you to know why I'm not apologizing. Which was, I was like, look, there is the normal me, which I like to think of as a rather, I'd say I fall under the more feminist side. I'm very much, would fall under like women's rights and beliefs, and very much a LGBT ally. But come hockey season, and any reaction I have towards hockey, I am a thug. I am a terrible human being under most situations when I'm watching hockey. And it's just I'm not gonna really apologize for that. It's I feel bad a little bit, but not really. I don't know. It's helpful that I've heard some of my gay friends say like just as many horrible things about Sidney Crosby as I said, so I feel a little better about that. Maybe it's terrible justification. I don't know. I just hate the fucker. So I just there's certain points in my mentality, I guess, like I don't believe really in fat shaming people, but if I don't like you as a person, or like say if you're a politician or a public figure or whatever, and I really am just 100% opposed to you, as far as I'm concerned, especially if you're an asshole. Additionally, one New Jersey governor comes to mind. Just off the top of my head. And I'll fat shame that fucker anytime fuck him. Like, it's like I can go all rational and have all sorts of real legitimate arguments, you know, and legitimate debates. But at the same point, it's like, yeah, you're kind of a fuckface, and I'm just gonna hit you with everything. Just because I want you wildly uncomfortable, because sometimes their existence makes me wildly uncomfortable. So, you know, it's like, let's all make this fair. I don't know. I did a little work and did a little stupid talk or whatever, blah, blah, blah. In me followers. Actually, no, I could just do it here. Let me do it here. Okay, I just closed that one. Never mind. We're at 46 right now, according to this. No, stop what you're doing. Stop it. So we're at 46. So we're on that final push, man. 4 more. 4 more to go, and after that, when I hit 50, I get into the followers. Skip that thing. I don't need that. What's that? Yeah, okay. I'll make sure I got you right. I got you right. Okay. When I hit 50, though, do a drawing giveaway. As I said, it's likely. I think it's probably going to be the one. So it's kind of new. It's kind of cool. I don't know. I've been digging on it. Because I had to scan it first, so it might not be like sent out to that day, but it will be sent out. I will get it out to the person, whoever it is. But when I hit 50, I'm jabbering on. I know. I will give away a drawing, because that's probably going to be the one. You can check out on my Instagram at Menaceart. It's likely going to be that drawing I've been working on now during my lunch breaks. Past few days. It's of my bridge at Trevor and Farm Trails, but it's different. It's very different from, and it's likely somewhere where I'm heading painting wise. So you kind of be like on the ground floor with that. The first experimentation of it. I think that'd be a kind of cool thing to give away, right? I don't know. So yeah. Still good. Our Hannah means family. And family means nobody gets left behind. This is my family. It's Brooklyn. It's small and Brooklyn. But still good. Yeah, still good. I'm kind of glad they're shutting that ride down, man. Sorry, I love Stitch. I want to preface this. I absolutely adore Stitch as a character. I used to have on my old PC, like a few years ago, I had a little Stitch like virtual pet. He'd just run around like on the bottom of my screen. And every now and then he'd just sort of sit in the corner and his tongue come out and pick his nose with his tongue. I cracked up every time. Sometimes jump on the front of the screen a little bit, lick it up, you know, kind of thing. Loved it. Loved it. It was like the worst thing when my computer died and we ordered a Mac instead. But anyway. So I just wanted to start that I love Stitch. But Jesus, that ride down Disney was like, what the hell is this? Like, I mean, none of us were prepared for it, I think. We went down a few years ago. My youngest was 4 at the time. Yeah, 4. And we knew we were going to get one direction or the other with her. In other words, we were betting she would either adore everything or hate everything. There was going to be no in between. And we were hoping it was going to be the adore everything, but it wasn't. I mean, our first night, we didn't have much planned. We planned to get in the hotel, go down to the Magic Kingdom, watch the light parade, watch the fireworks, and actually we had a fast pass to do the Dwarf's Mine Train that just opened up. But our plane was late, and so we were late getting in there. We didn't get to our fast pass, so we lost our fast pass. We could have actually gotten it again, but I didn't understand what they were telling us. Oh, we also had a fast pass for Peter Pan's Magic Flight. We got that one out of the way too. And she was okay that night a little bit. She was a little weirded out. She doesn't like fireworks, so she was pissed off at that part. But generally, she was okay for the first night. But because we went to bed late, and then, you know, as you do, you're at Disney, you know. By the time we got back from the fireworks and everything, it was midnight by the time they got to bed. And then we were up the next morning by like 7 a.m. I think we had the kids up. Yeah, I think we had the kids up by 7. So Sophia was definitely in an emotional mood that next day. And she was hell to deal with. The first things we did was the Adventures of the Little Mermaid. That should have been like a no-brainer, easy one for the kid, right? You know? She loves princesses, she loves the Little Mermaid. Fucking, hey, right. No. Couldn't even get her on the ride. Okay, well, right next to that is meet Ariel. Right? Let's go into this cove here and we'll meet Ariel. No. She's freaking out. Okay, well, we're going to get our pictures taken. And when I come back out, I'll show you what the pictures look like, and, you know. And if you want to meet Ariel, we'll go back and you can meet Ariel. And even after seeing the pictures of it literally just being a tunnel with a girl dressed up as Ariel, nope. She would not go in. But we got her on It's a Small World. Okay. Alright, you know, I hate that ride, but whatever. You know. Side note on that, I had some friends that had gone to Disney like the year before we went, I think. And they went on It's a Small World, and the ride got stuck for a little while. They were stuck on the damn thing, you know, and it was near like the big finale, so it's like everything singing, and all like the funky languages and shit. And I told my buddy, I'm like, dude, I seriously would have stepped out of the boat, because, you know, the water's only like this fucking deep, like it's not, you know, I'll put it down like here, you guys can see it, you know, like the water's like, what, like a foot deep, you know. I was like, I would have gotten out of the boat, I would have started grabbing dolls and beating other dolls with them. You know, like, there's just no fucking way I would have tolerated that for like an hour. It wasn't quite that long for him, but I'm like, just the fear that it could be that long would have been enough to just send me right over the edge. Anyways, I digress. So, we got her on It's a Small World. She liked that okay. No big deal. What was the next one we did? The next one was supposed to be like another easy one. It should have been something she would have been okay with. Shit, I can't remember what it was. I'm trying to think like what's over in that area. Crap, I can't think of it. But I forget what it was. She wanted to go on it. But she wanted to go on Stitch's Great Escape. We all love Stitch in this family. Okay, we'll get it on Stitch's Great Escape, right? I had heard some rumors about it, and I was like, okay, you know. But I didn't quite know what to like how bad it really was. Like, if you've never ridden that ride, like, and they're shutting it down now, so I guess you won't really get a chance to. But the entire room goes pitch. Well, first off, like they bring Stitch up, and it's like crazy flashing lights and smoke, and there's also, and he's loud and obnoxious because it's still when he's a bad guy, you know, kind of thing. And like he's just fucking everywhere, and it's just, and then it goes dark, and you know, like the whole ride goes pitch black, and you know, there's like these like things on your shoulders that like it's supposed to feel like he jumps on you, so it like punches down on you. Stuff gets sprayed in your face. There's smells that are released. It's like it's really like hypersensitive to like. If you have anybody with sensitivity issues about, you know, like sensory issues or whatever, do not take them on that goddamn ride. Like flat out, do not. But anyway, so Sophia was not thrilled with that one when that was finished up. That pretty much killed the rest of the day for getting on rides for her. She said she would have done It's a Small World again, but we weren't doing that again because I have, you know, my limits as a human being. What did she say she would do? I'm trying to think what we did do that day. Oh, we had tickets to, or not tickets, we had like an appointment for the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. So she got her hair and shit did, you know, and a nice dress or whatever, like crazy little, you know, like super princess dress. And spent a ridiculous sum of money to do. And that comes with like a photo shoot and everything. So we had her do her thing there. Her brother at the same point had a pirate makeover thing that he got done. He had like, you know, kind of like a zombie pirate thing made up. We had gotten that done. And yeah, it was adorable. They looked great. And then they had a photo shoot, and they let Vincent get in the photo shoot too. So that's why they, you know, they got a bunch of shots of them together. The people in the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique loved Vincent because he was all made up already, and like, you know, here they are around all these little girls getting princessied up, and there's Vincent with his like, you know, it look like his lips are been sewn together, and you know, black rings around his eyes, his skin's pale white, and it was really kind of funny. But once we went out of the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, though, she had been so well made up, and she looked so adorable. I should also point out, she picked Snow White at a time when everyone else was like picking Ariel. That's kind of important for later. But that was pretty neat because it was like, okay, you know, she'd never seen Snow White too. That's just what really shocked us when she picked it. And but she wanted to be Snow White. She wanted her dress. So it was okay. And then as we left the place, we went to go to the photo shoot, and like, you know, like there's like the South American tour groups that come up a lot of times during the summertime. You know, like the big bus trips or whatever. And there were a lot of these tourists that were suddenly asking to take pictures with Sophia because she looked so adorable as Snow White, and she was the only little Princess Snow White in the damn place. I mean, there was nobody else. Like, you walked around that damn theme park, and it was like Elsa, Anna, Elsa, Anna, Elsa, Anna. Like, that's literally all it was. Like, you know. Like, you know, and rarely Rapunzel. Like, it kind of like, you know, would drop in there on occasion. But it was like all the newer princesses were the only ones you saw, and then there's Snow White, my little Sophia, and so like all these people were asking to take pictures with Sophia as if she's like one of the actual characters, which is pretty cool. And then we do the photo shoot, and then we were going over to Story Time with Belle. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically exactly what it sounds like. They come out, Belle will come out and kind of tell the story of how her and Beast met. You know, it's the night of the dance that she's in the big, bright yellow, you know, ball gown or whatever. Well, Sophia was terrified again. Anytime we were going into a ride, now she's screaming like anything. If we're going in a building, she starts freaking out, right? So she's freaking out like the whole time. We're like, all right, well, you just sit back with us then. Vincent's, you know, we're gonna let Vincent do it. And so Vincent was up there. Now again, Vincent's all piratey made up. He's the scariest looking thing in there. So he naturally got selected to be Beast. There was like no way I could pick anybody else to be Beast but him. All right. And again, Sophia's, I think, expecting a ride or something because she's flipping out. And you go into the room where you're going to, where Belle will come out eventually. And Belle comes out, and it's like, okay. Like, at that point, Sophia's like, oh, princess. And they do the whole thing and then do, like, a little parade with the kids. And, Belle saw Sophia and said, will you walk with me, princess? And Sophia's like, it was like Ralphie in A Christmas Story when he's like, how about a nice football? Yeah, kind of that thing. So Sophia's just, I'll walk with you. And she takes a walk with, and they walk around. And she got her pictures taken with Belle and everything. That was all nice. And it was really cute. And, it's just funny. Because then what makes it even funnier, as we start to walk out, it's pouring rain. Right, it is just a flat out like monsoon outside, and I'm like, dude, I just spent $230 fucking on this dress and this Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique makeover shit. I'm like, and the lady's like, and the cast member was like, you guys have to leave. I'm like, I gotta figure out how I'm getting her from here to there without her getting wet. Hold on one sec, dear. I'm like, just please. I just dropped a shit ton of money, like literally right before we walked in here. I would like to figure out how I'm going to get this done. So I threw my hat on her head, like I didn't, bought a fedora or whatever, like so it was a bigger hat. And I threw that on her head, and I went walking over like that because we had no ponchos and shit to rock off of. And we just hung out under the one little archways there in Fantasy World or whatever, Fantasyland. And okay, so whatever. Then we had dinner plans with the princess dinner thing at the castle. And that's basically all we did. We sat there and waited until dinner time. Which sucked. It was just like sort of like just sitting, avoiding the rain. That's all we could do. So we get to, finally get into our, we're waiting the castle waiting area thing. And I'm like, and the lady's like, your dinner's not till much later. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not leaving from under here because it's pouring. What do you want me to do? So, all right, finally it comes our turn to they call us in. And as soon as we get called in, Sophia starts with the, I don't want to go. It's good. I don't want to go. So it was like, it's fucking dinner. We have to eat. We've been waiting here all this time. Literally right out front of this thing, and it's like, we have to eat. We're going in. It's just princesses. It's not a ride. It's not, I don't want to, how did you just cry and you cry? And then we get around the corner, she sees Cinderella. And then we get our picture taken with Cinderella. And then we go upstairs. And, everything's fun and groovy now. And then comes the time when the princesses are all going to start walking around your tables or whatever and greeting you. And every single one of them, they all did, we watched them around the room as best as we could. And they all spent a good amount of time with the people they were with. Right? But again, it was Elsa, Anna, Elsa, Elsa, Anna, Elsa, Rapunzel, Elsa, Anna, Elsa, Rapunzel, Anna, Rapunzel. That's literally what it was. So we, and then we have Snow White. And it's like every single one of them must have been just like so thrilled to see something different. Just to not see another Elsa or whatever, See an OG princess. Such a thing exists. They all spent a little extra time with it. Because like I said, I was watching them go around and how much time they spent at each table. Because I'm kind of crazy like that. And when Snow White finally came around, Snow White sat at our table. Which was cool. She sat right next to Sophia. And Sophia had little, we got these pictures from like the Disney Movie Club. They were of the princesses with their palace pets or something like that. I think that's where we got it from. Don't quote me on that. But my wife had them. That's all I know. So, we thought it would be nice for Sophia to get them signed by the princesses, and then You know, she had a little collection thing or whatever. And to be honest, I don't even know where the hell that thing is now. That collection is. But, you know, all the princesses signed it, and, yeah, Snow White literally sat there and was like, oh, this is my bunny, you know, and whatever the hell the damn thing's name is. And, oh, yes, and, you know, like, literally, she's just having a little conversation with Sophia. It was cute as could be. And like I said, it's adorable, you know. Here she is, the only Cinderella we saw the entire trip. Not Cinderella, only Snow White. We saw the entire trip. You know. Of the little girls that bought the Bodie Bobby Boutique bullshit. I should say the little girls bought it because the parents bought this shit. That shit's expensive. Holy shit, dude. I'll tell you what. What cracked me up too is, now, as I said, first week came in, and Vincent had already done his pirate makeup thing. And, now they do have like a princely thing that you can get done, which is just really just like, you know, they give like a sash, they like, I think they clean up his hair a little bit or whatever, you know, kind of thing. I never looked very deeply into it because Vincent was like not about it at all. But they asked us if he was there for it. It's like, he looked at the girl, he looked at Vincent, he looked at the girl, he looked at Vincent. I'm like, no. Like, do you see? Like, literally, he's been made up and he's got a fucking little pirate bandana on, and he had a patch. He wasn't wearing it, but, you know, for his eye or whatever. Like, you know, like, are you missing the whole, like, pirate theme we got going on here? Like, I mean, we didn't do, like, the full pirate costume. We got a pirate t-shirt, but we asked him if he wanted it, and he was like, no. I'm not walking around here just as a pirate. The true terrible irony, though, of that whole thing was we never got on Pirates of the Caribbean. We wanted to, but again, time got stuck too close to the Bodie Bobby Boutique at that point, so we had to get going. And then the later date that we were going to try to do it, it broke down, so we could go on it. That sucks. It was definitely a weird vacation though, because years and years ago when I was, you know, 11, 12 years old, my family had gone down, you know, with us, whatever. We'd all gone down together. Now, mind you, this is right as MGM Studios had first opened up. But I feel like we did more in the days that we were there, like, and not just all in the park shit. Like, we stayed at Fort Wilderness, and we had done the 1 year we stayed at Fort Wilderness. And I remember taking like the boat over to the Contemporary by myself just so I could play in the arcades. I remember, like, you know, doing River Country at the time was the water park at the time. You know, I remember. We rented a like little pedal cart thing or whatever, like all this at like in Fort Wilderness, but we still saw like everything in the parks, you know, or at least a good portion of what we wanted to see in the parks. Let's put it that way. And it's just weird because I felt like this past vacation, you know, past is 4 years ago. I felt like we didn't get near as much done. We hit every park, you know. We did our Hoop-de-Doo review. Vincent got chosen to be the ranger in that one. That was pretty cool. But it's like, I just felt like we were just like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like, we didn't really do that. Like, I don't know, just the rain fucked with us a lot, which it didn't when I was younger. You know, especially once we had done her hair, it was like we got stuck. Because if her hair hadn't been done, it'd be like, okay, well, let's just go over to whatever other ride in the rain and we'll just deal with it. You know? As long as it wasn't like completely like thundering and shut everything down, I would have gone on to other stuff. It's just that with her hair being done, it was like I can't wander around with her. And she's in the dresses that they had were like, I mean, it was part of the Baby Bob Boutique thing, but we saw them in the store and they were like $80 dresses. Something like that. So it's like, you know, if she's in one of those too, it's like, I ain't sending her out in this shit, you know? Gotta figure out a way to just keep her away from it for now. How's that? Started a what? Follow me, I'll follow you. I will follow you wherever you may go. And I'm sort of paraphrasing that one. It's almost time for the children's to be put into the bed. Man, I really like somebody like here, like every night, just to be able to tell me, like, did you like this? Did you like the thunderstorm better? I can't use the supposedly public domain jazz because that literally got me like pinged up hard against the wall on YouTube and in here actually. One loses like 6 minutes of audio. I can try other noises and stuff. It's just clear at this point that I can't. Fungal. I just realized I fucked this up. All the other ones I did, and then I started tearing them back, and this one I didn't do at all. And anyway, this one has a pattern around it. Like, this thing should be like this. I'm going to do it over here so I actually don't forget it this time. Let's start hammering these out a little bit. Boop, boop, boop. But it's like that trip to the Ren Fair we had this past time. It's like, we did stuff, it just didn't feel like we did stuff. I don't know how I explain it other than that. Like, we certainly did things, it's just they didn't feel like we did things by the time we were all said and done. And I thought I had it planned well too. Like, I thought I did a really good job. But again, part of it was thrown off by Sophia and just being terrified of everything. So it changed the number of things that we go on when we weren't doing the fast pass. She even got freaked out by the tiki room, man. We had worked hard on that one too, but then they do the thing with the thunderstorms and the things are, you know, it's like, oh fuck. Forgot about it. Literally forgot what it used to be like. I saw the birds sang, I forgot about like the whole like, you know, munga hooga hooga hooga. Yeah, oh. What else did we do? Like I said, like the Ren Fair this year was just kind of like a meh. You know, I mean, it wasn't bad. I love it still. I still like to go. It's just, I think we chose poorly in how we were setting up things. And I felt bad too because then they sent me like a survey, like, "Hey, what do you think about the Ren Fair?" It's like, I don't want to really answer these questions honestly, because it's, again, I don't want to make them think that we enjoyed ourselves to a degree, and again, we were trying to shake our comfort levels a little bit, do things differently. I feel like someone adjusted my head, or my head's getting fatter. It's starting to hurt. Could be the rain coming in. I get headaches like that. Could be it. Still got a few minutes. Alright, got a few moments left before I gotta go upstairs and put the kids to sleep. Sleeper hold. No. I don't sleeper hold my children. Is it the thunder or is that a fucking plane? I can't tell. So I should have had this on when I was doing the Zen founding. That would have been really good. I mean, you guys can still see it's right there. I gotta get a good picture of that. I got a request earlier today from, well, actually it was last night I think is when it came through. But I didn't see it because I went to bed right after painting. From 1340 Gallery, that's right. I guess it's like an art magazine, like an online art magazine kind of thing. You know, hey, whatever, man. They asked me if I wanted to show my stuff on there, and I said, yeah, sure. I didn't know what to send them though, because like I don't have a good copy of that yet. Like I got the picture I took right at the end of it. But I haven't taken one with the good camera and spoofed up the color a little bit so it resembles it a little more than like how it does in real life. I didn't get a chance to doing that yet to it. I have like I said, the portrait of Kyram that I had painted on here. I do have a good photo of that. I just haven't processed it. Same with the El Sueño de los Horizontes Produces Monstruos. God, Felipe, if you're on here, please tell me I butchered that. I know I did. But the Goya study. That was a good one too. I thought that one came out quite nicely. I don't have I don't have production shots of like say the portrait of Wilma, because I was just like, all right, here you go, Mike, that's yours. I took a higher res photo of the barn, but again that's kind of like that's somebody else's painting, man. That's not like I did it, but it was commissioned for them. That's their thing, so I don't know if I really need to if I should put prints of it out or not. You know, like it's not really. I don't really feel entirely right doing that. It's bad enough. I've mentioned on here before about I had the one painting that I did. In so much as yes, my hand held the brush, and I guess dipped back and forth. I can't really explain it too well, but it was basically like a painting I did. I'm trying to think of that plane. Sounds like plane. That's a plane taking off, right? I don't think the storm's supposed to come till later tonight. But I had that painting, and while I was working on it, I started it off pretty good, but then it got to a point where I was doing a lot of grass work and stuff, and I just wasn't focusing. I had a hell of a time concentrating on it. So I went looking for new music, stuff that I did not have in my collection already. And like I said, I've told the story a couple times now, but so I found Hilary Hahn plays Bach, and I listened to it, and I literally went into a fugue state. I don't remember doing anything with my painting. that point on. Like when the album ended, I'm like, oh look at that, there's more paint on here than there was before, huh? And then put on another album. What did I put on next? I think I put on 27 pieces. And kind of like same thing, going. Put on violin and voice, which is another Bach thing. Boom, gone. I had no idea, but every time I got done, there's new shit on the canvas. And so, for like the next few days, all I did was put it on. Brain went bye-byes, and when I came back, you know, once the song ended or whatever, once the album ended, more shit on the canvas. But then what kind of happened mentally to me is that I sort of went, like my brain started going like, you didn't do this, you know that, right? I should go up here, like, you didn't do this, you know that, right? Turning into Bogart again. Oh, is that Bogart? I don't know. You know, it's like, you didn't do this. This isn't your painting. And turn that down a little bit before I'm not cranking everybody out. So I eventually just mailed it out to her because I was like, I literally sent it to her agent. I was like, I can't keep this painting. This is not mine. But I already loaded up before that stuff really started, like before my brain really started like, this isn't yours. I loaded up to my Society 6 studio page or whatever, Society 6 page. And I was like, I mean, it's a good painting. I mean, I think it's okay. I still don't know if I should sell prints to it. Still debate about turning it off every now and then. I go in there, I start managing my posts to put up new ones and stuff, and I hit that one and I go, I probably will soon. So if you're interested in that painting, the Hill and I-476, and you want a print of it or anything, I would order it now because I don't know how long I'll keep it up there. Yeah, it's really kind of crazy. What's that noise? It's not like water dripping for a second. I was like, there better not be water dripping in this fucking place. Alright, I gotta check everywhere. Just make sure. Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about real quick? It's too late to talk about it right now, because I gotta go upstairs. I gotta really go upstairs right now. I gotta finish this first. It's not looking right yet. You know, it probably is water on the damn sound thing. This is supposed to be a Japanese garden with probably a Zen fountain like the one I painted, so we would hear drops of water. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Life's full of tough choices, isn't it? Chicks dig it. Alright, I'll try to remember this. If I say it, maybe I'll remember it. But I gotta talk about a video I saw about Starry Night where the dude was just flat fucking wrong. So I'll try to remember to pick that up. I gotta put the kids to bed. So let me do this. Stick around, we'll be back. I'll leave the music on. Stupid. Locked the door on my way out. Forgot I fucking locked it. There we go. Okay, what I was going to say regarding, well, the overall thing was regarding Starry Night. It's that it ended on a theory that, for the most part, is false. I shouldn't even say for the most part. It's false. The theory had run by that Vincent may have been colorblind, which would explain his palette and why it's so, unique, and the way that he would paint is so unique, etc. And they did it using, they changed, part of the spectrum, and then suddenly things looked more normal by normal definitions. And I hate that, but, I hate trying to put it that way, but because that's not accurate either, the way to put it. But the thing is, there's one major fucking hole in that plan, that idea. Okay, and that's the part that nobody ever seems to acknowledge when they run that idea by people. Is two things you have to always remember about a Van Gogh. Or Van Gogh. Yeah, I'll do it pronounced technically properly, but again, I do it badly, so it's going to sound like I have a furball. When people present this idea, there's two things you need to think about. First, 9 times out of 10, when they do the readjustments, what they end up doing is they actually tend to add a little bit red back in there, and that's when it usually blends back out normally, again, quote unquote normally. Vincent used a color called Red Madder Lake a lot. Red Madder Lake degrades over time. So while you adjust this and make it sort of look things normally, if Red Madder Lake was used in that painting, it's not Vincent's eyes that went bad, it's the paint that went bad over time. That's like a first thing you must remember. Absolute first you have to think about. The second thing, actually it's probably three things you know. Second thing is when you talk about his palette, how unique and how special it is. This is all very true. All right, I should look at the camera and tell you guys what. This is all very true things. Okay, that post-Paris, Paris and post, to be honest, his palette was very unique, very special, the way that he would work with color. Okay? No one can argue this. But you have to remember that were he colorblind, using shit from Paris and Arles doesn't explain the stuff he did in The Hague and Antwerp. Okay, there's he was using a completely different palette back then, and he was, much darker, and things that would go off the tones that these people were trying to represent as him being colorblind. The third thing you have to remember is he actually described his paintings quite often in letters. And he described them accurately. So he knows what colors he's putting in there. He's aware of how bright they are and how intense they are. And he describes actively about how different it is from the stuff he did in The Hague and in Antwerp. And, they seem to gloss over that a lot when they talk about that idea. He was influenced in a lot of ways, not just by the standard impressionists, but by pointillism and starting to lead into the Post-Impressionist idea that he eventually became part of. So they talked about art. They talked about color and light in a scientific method, about breaking down what you would see as a standard color, having reflections of other colors around it. So he was thinking like that. He wasn't trying to paint exactly what he saw, but more of an emotional impression of what he was seeing. And so it's just I've listened to it and I watched the thing, and the rest of it was pretty good, talking about Starry Night. I don't remember which video it is, and I'm not going to try to link it because I don't give a shit. But it was like, it got to the end, and it's like, oh, because he was colorblind. No, he wasn't. He was not colorblind. Believe me. And if you want to go one step farther, I'll see you and I'll raise you, because I'll use the fucking one I talked about yesterday, because it gets me now in a different way, because I know the day that I, for lack of a better term, went colorblind due to my mental illness. And that's Rain, the painting Rain. Look at that painting for real and see that he's painting in a very different place when it comes to color than he normally does. And one would interpret that if he were... The idea that the person was projecting was that part of his intensity of color was based entirely on the fact that he couldn't see the colors properly, so he was intensifying them. But that works also contrary to the idea of him being colorblind, because if he couldn't see the intensity of his paints, then that means he couldn't see the intensity of what was in front of him as well. If that makes... Do you know what I mean? Like, if he's capturing... Like, if he's seeing everything a little dimmer, then that means he's seeing everything in front of him a little dimmer, which means he's still technically representing it in the same way. Look at something like Monet when he was getting older and developing glaucoma. His palette went fucking harsh red because his eyes were fucked up. What he thought he was seeing is not what he was seeing. So those paintings of the water lilies and stuff are all fucking crazy because he didn't know what he was literally grabbing at. Different story than what we were talking about with Vincent. And like I said, if you look at Rain, and it's a very different painting, and it's, like I said, for me specifically now, I can relate to that painting in a way when I had my breakdown, when I lost it, I know I lost the ability to see color like I had for a while. And it eventually came back to me, thank God. But anyway, just want to point out that video was wrong. It makes me want to go up to the MoMA though. It really does. I want to take my daughter has been begging me for a long time. I'm actually kind of debating how to do this because I told my wife my original plan, which is, it turns out that the MoMA offers like artist memberships, just like the Philadelphia Museum of Art does. And if I were to get the artist membership, I would then have like a $5, I could get one guest in for $5. So then I was thinking, okay, well my daughter's a student, and they offer student tickets too. So my daughter could buy her ticket as a student ticket. I'd get the artist membership, and we've been talking about bringing her boyfriend Andrew up to go see it, even though he hasn't been to any museums. Never been to the Philadelphia Museum of Art, anyway. Anyway, but this way, I pay. He's $5. So you know what I mean? Like it ends up saving only like maybe like $10 total in admission, but it saves $10. I'm cheap like that because $10 is like half a tube of paint. Okay. So I told my wife this plan. She goes, "Well, that's just stupid. Why don't we just all go up?" I'm like, "Well, because if we all go up, then what did I boil it down to, like $65 trip to the museum becomes like $170 trip to the museum. And you guys will force me not to go through the museum like I would like to go through the museum. Whereas Allie and Andrew are a little more in my control range, you know? Like, I don't like the MoMA much at all because I'm not a big fan of a lot of modern art. There's a lot of stuff in there that's garbage, as far as I'm concerned. Not garbage, but it's not big A art. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like capital A art. There's a split there for me. Like, there's things I consider little A art, and there's capital A art. I put a lot of, like, you know, commercial art in general in little A art. Illustration, you know, be it comics, books, whatever. I generally throw in there because typically the person doing it isn't really doing it for anything other than a paycheck. You know, yeah, they may put in a few extra flares in or something like that. You know, beyond just style, you know, they may throw in one or two things and if they can sneak something in, you know, whatever. It's like, but it's usually like almost like half joke. It's not really trying to get across a bigger idea. That's why I think it's small A. And I find that I put a lot of modern art in that same concept primarily because, not because I think these guys were all out for a paycheck or anything like that. I don't want to say that. I don't think so for a lot of them. I think they were trying to do something. But again, I've had on here a few times where it's hard to have a conversation with a lot of modern art than it is for me to like again, and maybe this is interpretive, I don't know, but I find it for a normal person or for, you know, it's an easier starting point to have a conversation with an artist from 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, that they have a subject matter, you know, like, I know what an apple is, I know what a church is, I know what, you know, I can work off of those to figure out what else the artist was doing on top of it. There's some old paintings that fall under small A art. I'm not going to argue that either. It's just that there's certain elements I think that you get with a figurative, a representational form that you don't get in a abstract piece or something like that, or like in a pop culture, like pop art thing. You know. Oh, why'd you crank up, man? Okay, it's okay. I thought the CPU was going to shoot through the roof for a second here. It sounded like really loud. But see, and then I said that I was suggesting that maybe we go to the MoMA, look at the Van Goghs. We'll go, you know, through the rest of it. I can go through pretty quickly because I don't find a need to dwell on anything. Let's put it that way. And then we'd go over maybe to the Met, where they were doing they're doing a Delacroix show right now of Delacroix drawings. And I was like, that'd be fucking hot. And I know they have a great Asian art section up there. So I would love to see that again, because I haven't been there in a while for that one. So I don't know. I have to figure this out, because I would really like to take my kids up. Yeah, or I'd like to take Allie and Andrew up. Right now, my other kids, I think, are just, you know, I'll do like the Philly Museum or something with them, but I don't think they're ready yet for a, you know, we did Chicago, sort of. Like, the only reason I tolerated the way that we went through Chicago, the Art Institute of Chicago, was because I had been there like once a year for the 2 years before we took that vacation. I had training out there or whatever that I had to go to. So I took extra days off and I would go to the art museum. I'd go to the Art Institute. So I had already gone through the Art Institute a few times like I go through museums. So it was like, okay, I can show my kids the more, you know, the ones I consider more important to me or whatever. Because sorry, I am kind of trying to train my children to be ready for when all these currently worthless things are theirs, to try to help promote what their father thought about art and stuff. So I work off of the old masters to do that. But anyway. But like, I'll take them to the Philly Museum for the same kind of reason. I've been to the Philadelphia Museum of Art so many times now. You know. I probably could go through it blindfolded and tell you what paintings I'm in front of. If not for the fact that they keep changing the exhibit. That's the only thing. They do kind of change some stuff around. They move some shit around. But generally, you know, there are certain places I know that I know. You know, I guess I don't know. Oh, that's right. That one gets like completely covered up, doesn't it? Okay, that's right. That's like completely out of sight. Okay. It's covered by a tree. You know, we'll make it a little bit. We'll give it a space. We'll give it a space to live. There's gonna be stuff like right in there. That probably sounds like wildly ignorant what I'm trying to say. All this stuff. Anyway. The point of the matter is, so like the other thing is, I know that the earliest I'll probably be able to get to New York would be, you know, likely early November, which means you're already starting to talk like Christmas in New York shit starting to happen. And it's not like really crazy, you know, Christmas in New York stuff, but it's starting to get there. And my wife can't stand New York in Christmas time anymore. She just hates the busyness of it, you know. And so she wants to take the kids back up there, but she doesn't want to do it during Christmas season. And I totally understand that, and I can, you know, commiserate with that. But this thing that I want to do has to take place. It's got to be after Halloween, because we got too much shit before Halloween to do. You know. Only downside is that you're not allowed to take video in there, in the Met, at least. And I thought that would be kind of a cool thing. I could be able to record, and if I get up to affiliate, I'd be able to use, you know, videos. So if anybody's watching, can help me get there. Do you know some friends or something that'll fucking sign on here? I'm just saying, we're close to 50, and that'll be a giveaway, and maybe, you know, it's going to be a random number generator, but you never know, you know, like, you could be that random number. I won't make any promises. I'm certainly not going to do that, because that's, but I'm just saying that it doesn't happen until that happens. At all. There's no contest until then. Anyhow, I'm rambling again. I mean, part of me says I should take Andrew to like the Philadelphia Museum of Art first as well, but I was like, hey, you know what? I really do want to see Starry Night again. It's been a long time. Did I mention that was my 100th Van Gogh? I think I did before, but if I didn't, I'll say it again. I had actually done the math in my head one day in the shower that because of the Van Gogh show that I've been down in DC, and how many they had that were in their normal collection that weren't part of that show, you know, and then how many the Philadelphia Museum of Art had, how many the Met had, that I realized that I had that Van Gogh, that Starry Night, if I could make Starry Night my 100th Van Gogh. And this was right before we were about to do a school trip up to New York from the University of Arts. So my friend Davin walked me through the MoMA just so I could not accidentally see one down the hall or anything like that, because I didn't know the layout of the museum. I walked in the MoMA after I paid at the front desk. I walked around it like this. Swear to God. I walked around like that. My buddy Davin literally guiding me through the museum. And we get to the room where the Van Goghs are, and he like puts me right in front of it. Literally kind of like shoved in front of people's faces. Like, all right, Brian. So, Starry Night was my 100th Van Gogh. My absolute design. Well, more like accidental absolute design, I guess, right? Because, I really did not plan it until, like I said, I'm in the shower and I was counting, how many Van Goghs have I seen? Because I'm like, guys, got so many, and I've seen so little, and I started doing my head, and I was like, wait a minute. And I literally, when I got out of the shower, I started writing the note down. And then I got on the train to go to school, which made it very easy then because I'm on the train. So I'm sitting down and I'm just sitting there with the notebook, and I wrote down like literally every Van Gogh. Well, I didn't write down every Van Gogh. I put in I put in how many Van Goghs were in the exhibit. Because I knew that count. It was like 77. I have to verify that now. It's been years and my brain doesn't work like it used to. But, and I calculated, the Philly Museum was easy because we have, the 2 Roland portraits, Sunflowers and Rain. That's it. And, so I was like, okay, alright, done that, okay, and I'm like, okay, and I'm looking at the Met, I'm in Cypresses, and I was like, down all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, and I was like, okay, and the National Gallery also had, these ones, okay, yeah, and then I sat there and went, oh my god, it really is going to be my 100th Van Gogh. And so, like I said, I looked like a complete fucking moron in the museum. But that's normal for me. I literally dread the idea of ever accidentally running into somebody of influence if I'm ever at a museum. I swear to God, it terrifies me. The idea of running into, say, a potential gallery owner or something that maybe I'm hoping one day to sell out of, or even like an artist that maybe like someone say I've met him before, but I definitely still would not want him to meet me in a museum ever. Like Jim Lee or something. Mind you, he's a different style of art and would definitely again fall into that small A. As much as I love his work, and that's not trying to criticize his work as something that I don't think is great. It's a small A in how I break down art. Because it's I can quite honestly turn into just if I'm with people like my buddy Bill or my buddy Davin, I might be a little better. Or if I'm with my family, I'm nowhere near as embarrassing. So I'm trying not to embarrass them. But if I'm by myself, man, I'm kind of a drooling idiot when it's in there. Unless it's something super big, then even if I'm with somebody, I'll be honest, I don't think like Bill will tell you, when we were down at the Van Goghs, I was cursing up a storm when I'm in there. So I was just so blown away. Everything was just, I was learning so much. I wish I had better photos of some of the stuff that and I had a better chronology. I used to have a very good chronology of things I had done and when I had done them. But again, my parents' basement flooded a lot. And when the last floods they had in the basement destroyed one of the big ones was, I think, is it Irene? think it was Irene. Maybe Hugo. I don't remember which hurricane it was. But there was a hurricane not long after I graduated that, like, destroyed, like, all my college sketchbooks and, like, half my notebooks. And sketchbooks sometimes doubled as my notebooks regarding these things. And anything that didn't get destroyed in that one got destroyed, like, 2 years later in another flood. So it was like, oh, fucking, you know. And that kind of sucks, because it's like, especially now that, like I was telling a friend the other night, when he came to pick up the St. Michael defeating the devil that I gave him, that, you know, I've lost a lot of memories. There's stuff that I don't have anymore, like mentally, it's gone, you know, since the breakdown. So it's like, if I had those written records of it, at least it would be sort of comforting, you know, and like, it wouldn't be a big hole, which is what it is right now. But I would like to, I wish I could, because and I probably could work out a portion of it to a degree, but there was a noticeable change from shit I did before the Van Gogh show to after the Van Gogh show. Like, it was like I had been kind of tapping along certain edges of things, and I thought getting close, and then there was stuff that, like, afterwards it was like BAM! Like, there was just it was a jump in style and control and speed. I was a lot faster after that too, actually. Now I'm much slower, but that's other. Like I said, I thought about it the other night. That's mostly other stuff involved. Like I said, I almost want to get shit canned. As long as I can get unemployment, I would be able to be okay. Because I would love to have some time again to see what I could do without the daily, you know, kicking the balls that's work. Like, I'd like to be able to really give a shot to see, you know, if my self-confidence, you know, like, as an artist could be, if it's completely screwed up, or if it's just because I'm back to work and that place just ruins me. You know, like, it was really like my first two paintings that, I mean, they weren't as fast as my old ones, but when I first started painting again last year, like the tulips, you know, they took a while, but I don't think as long as, like, say, even this one's been taking. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that, again, I was on disability at the time, and it was just like, I'm painting, and that's all I'm doing. There's nothing else in, you know. Even like some of the family obligation stuff was kind of put to the side for me at the time, because everybody just was trying to make sure that, you know, I would get healthy. And so it was like a nice little. And I felt more confident. Unfortunately, then I went back to work. And then the confidence went. And usually now only comes back for about 30 seconds after I finish a painting. It may not be even that long. That's horribly sad, isn't it? It is. Admittedly, I think if it were going to happen, I'd rather it happen during like springtime. Like if it were to happen during winter, it's like winter just sucks. I can't go out and paint in winter. I mean, I probably could. It's just not. I don't deal well with cold. I don't deal well with cold, and I don't deal well with early dark. Anyway, like so, at least if I'm always inside, I'm kind of always inside, but. Especially now, it's maybe potentially possible I may be allergic to cold. Or at least developing an allergy to cold. Or I may have cancer. I don't know. My wife and I were like, alright, so I get these welts. Yeah, I get like these itchy bumps. Like right here and right here on my arm. Oh, right, I should put it. Like right here and right here. I get these weird little itchy bumps sometimes. And it's always when I have like a can or something next to my arm, and you know, I went through and I googled it finally, like, dude, what, you know, I get bumps when I touch cold, and sure enough, something came up and it was like, okay, you know, here's possible reasons, and it talked about a cold, you know, an allergy to cold or whatever, like an allergic reaction type thing, cold. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy, you know. And then one of like the little side things is, but first go check with your doctor too, because you may also have cancer. And I'm like, what? Like, that's a big fucking jump of like, oh, you might have a slight allergy to cold, or you may be dying. Can we not? Like, thank you, WebMD. People wonder why that's a fucking joke about, like, you know, oh, I was on WebMD yesterday and I have the flu or I'm, like, in terminal 4 cancer. Like, you know, like. Okay, maybe we weren't going to get this done today because I'm doing a lot of jabbering. That's not helping move faster. But. And this is basically pointillism at this point. Like, it's like, and I'm trying not to make it like bumpy like that. I don't really want it to have like a, you know, like the little spikes and shit all over it. I'm trying to make it have like a, you know, they're stones. They're kind of, you know, it's kind of even. Not, you know, it's not 100% perfectly even, but it's not like, you know, you wouldn't get stabbed or scraped by walking by the church, and I'm trying not to make sure that happen. Where sometimes you may get stabbed or scraped by my paintings if you've ever been to some of them, you've seen some of them in person. There are a few times there's a little spike out that, you know. My opinion of it is basically, look, I'm willing to die for my art. You should be too. At least be prepared to get injured. Alright, maybe not. I'll do it. You don't have to. It's like the Everybody Loves Raymond episode with the luggage. I'll be the bigger person. Oh, no, 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 no. There's the end of it. Yeah. Spoilers for a show in 1996. Whatever. What is the age of spoilers? Like, what's... I don't think that's ever been clear on, to me before. Like, I've tried to... But I've heard people like spoilers, Vader's Luke's father. Like, and try to be serious about it. Like, that they're like, I didn't know that. Like, are you fucking kidding? Like, and kind of in a similar but not really vein, when is it too old to have a spoiler on your car? When's it not cool anymore? Like when you're like 30? Especially guys with like sports cars and like spoilers on them. I just think, sorry about your penis. You know, like when they're a little older, it's like, yeah, sorry guy. Those guys with the big ass trucks, like, you know, like super, like, you know, like, I don't want to pick on anybody that like has a pickup truck that's like lifted and shit because they actually need it for work. There's a difference. You can see those cars. You know what I mean? Like, you can see that they got, you know, mud and shit all over their car, and it's, you know, got a couple dents and a couple spots, and you know that's a work truck, you know. I'm talking about the guys that go down the highway with the pristine, like super, it's been washed 3 times that day and waxed again, you know. And the truck's like, you know, on like 7 feet high lifts, big ass fucking tires. And they got, of course, have little shiny balls hanging out the back of the, you know, the tailgate. All right, and I can't help but look at those guys and just like, I'll be honest, I actually do go by them. You drive one of those cars, and you ever see me driving next to you, watch, because I put that little peek and go, you just little guy, ain't you? Anyway. Yeah, that sucker don't work no more. One of those too. Definitely are trying to compensate for something there. Like I said, if I see a big truck, like I said, it's lifted and, you know, but it's, like I said, you can see the dents, you can see it's, like I said, and usually they're like, they always seem to be white trucks, right? Like, they're always the white trucks that are like pickup trucks that are just like I said, dented. They got a couple, you know, like almost like permanent stains of mud and like different story. You can tell I'm running out of things to say. So we're getting towards the end of the thing, and I have no idea what this is to keep talking about. Nobody's talking back. I don't know what else I can do. It's funny because I get like lots of, like, you know, I get a lot of random likes from people on Instagram and shit, and, you know, and Twitch Creative and other people, and, you know, and they hear about the shit, but nobody stops in. Nobody says hello. Wait, what are we doing? Oh no, I see 2 Rangers goals. Why do I see 2 Rangers goals already? Tell me what I got here. Okay, that's not what I clicked. Where I want to see the fucking Flyers. Fuck. Flyers lost 3-0. Who's our goal today? Who's the goaltender tonight? Summary. Carter Hart, really? He was in there? Shit. Carter, come on, dude. Don't make us put Gritty in there, motherfucker. know he's a rookie. I mean, it's fine, I guess. I don't know. Trying to be patient. Trying to be patient. I don't think it's going to be a good year for the Flyers, unfortunately. I'm hoping it's all just preseason shit and that they'll clear it up afterwards. I mean, it's happened before plenty of times where the Flyers had a garbage preseason and like the rest of the season went pretty good. I mean, you know, it's still been a long time since a fucking cup, but anyway, as long as they're... I don't mind not having a cup as long as they look okay. You know, then I should say okay, they look good, you know, like the last game, like when Sophie and I went on Monday, they looked like shit. They just looked like shit 90% of that game. And then, like, they had, like, a maybe 5-10 minute pop where they just looked great and they were just fucking all over the place. They were pounding on, like, you know, the Bruins fucking goal. They were just, and they got 3 goals, like, in no time flat, and it was just fucking awesome. I'll say this. They did look good at the start of the second period, too. They just didn't get anything past them. They were just... I'll rephrase it again. They looked good on a basic pressure level, but their shots were just everywhere but where they needed to be. Or a lot of times they were shooting and they were just wide off, and you know. But what was I saying? Yeah. Like I said, I don't mind if they don't get a cup as long as they look good. And like I said, they can have a bad preseason because it's preseason, and that's fine. You know? If I remember correctly, the Phillies 2009, 10, and 11 preseasons were terrible. Like, yeah. And, they, but those years were great for us, so it's like, you know, it can go the other way entirely, and that's fine. You know, like if it once that stuff all starts to play in, you know, like that's fine. I just don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with myself. Nothing, everything to do. Everything with you. Now that we're through, I just don't know what to do. Like a summer rain. I need sweet. Alright, I'm trying to... I just don't know what to do with myself. Kind of at a point where it's like if I stop, I'm going to regret it, and I know that. I'm just going to end up with shit that's out of whack. It's not going to be in the right spot. Like the stuff will dry on me in the weird places. And I'll end up with a tattoo that I have to then go back to the tattoo shop and be like, I don't know anybody named Rosie, and you know, like it's just never going to be a good situation. I mean, geez, you guys ever go on a bender like that? Just wake up, you're in Tijuana, you're like, what the fuck? All I did was leave my wallet in El Segundo. I've never been to Mexico. Don't worry. There's a job I would not ever do. Like become a drug mule for Mexico. I don't know why that popped in my head. Literally, like it actually is an episode of Weeds where like that's what she's doing. Like it. I don't know why that's like literally like. That was a weird show. Like. I guess it got to the point at the end where it's like, okay, like. They sort of resolved it by not resolving it. And that kind of sucked. Like, I don't know, like, just suddenly it's like, oh, now we're in the future. Okay, like, it's like, what? I don't think of it. I think, really, what else did that? True Blood did that too, which pissed me off. Where it's like, okay, you kind of have this thing, and here's what's going on, and then, like, we're going to resolve everything by just, like, everybody's in the future now. And everything's, this is what it's like. It's like, ew. I was almost expecting out of, Hemlock Grove, too, because it was like, they were getting near the end, and I'm like, what the hell? They got to resolve, like, a lot of shit. There was a lot of shit they had to resolve. And it was just sort of like... It was resolved very quickly. A good portion of it, I will say, was not resolved satisfactorily? Satisfactorily? Like... Like, I don't want to spoil, because it's like one of those Netflix shows, so if there are people that would not, like, see it yet, and... Be mad at me, but it's like they end season 2 with something kind of big, and they kind of build around that for season 3 to start. But there's some other side plots going on, and then it's like the thing that they build up from season 2 is literally kind of like, oh, yeah, here it's over. Like it's like it really happens so fucking fast. Like what? Like my wife and I watched it, and we're like, wait. That was it? Like for real? That was all? Like, you know. Like, that's not what I was expecting. I was expecting a fight. Like, I don't know. And even the final fight was kind of like a, okay. And it's not like that was a different final fight, like of something else. And then we'll go into it again, because it's very spoilery. If you do watch the show, though, it'll take you about 30 seconds to figure out what I'm talking about, because the main characters are, you know, I don't want to say it, but you'll figure it out. There's likely to be a fight between the two of them quickly. You'll understand that. They did do a nice twist with Famke Janssen's character towards the end. Just the way that they kind of end her storyline, because there's something going on and you're like, well, everybody else that this has kind of happened to have these signs and she doesn't seem to have them. And then they explain why. And it's like, okay, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay. Now, again, I will say I did look into the history of that show. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like super great. It's overly dramatic or melodramatic, you know, kind of thing sometimes, but it wasn't terrible. I think what happened though was they started off real strong, based on the book or whatever that was, you know, that the movie or the show is based on. I don't know how much of the later 2 seasons was in that book. I don't think much, if anything. I think they were like given outlines of what he was thinking about doing, what the author was thinking about doing, and then he never did it. But they were, you know, they had season 2, and they did a bunch of changes and things of season 2, and then they were like, okay, we're giving season 3, but they when they announced season 3, like, it's last season. So I think the guys that set up the end of season 2 and everything, like, so there was like kind of a big thing. They were like, well, fuck, we gotta get that done, and then we have to get done the final conflict or whatever, you know, that will end the show. So they had to, like, I think that's why they had to wrap up that, what they, you know, the conflict you were expecting to have, based on the end of season 2. Why it sort of just was like, okay, well, here, it's over, like, kind of thing. I think it was really done because they just didn't have a choice. They just, okay, well, we wanted to make this bigger, but we can't. We gotta get to the other stuff first. Yeah, or we have to get the other stuff, like, now, because we don't get another shot. Just looking to you guys. I always wonder this because, again, I'll be honest, I took a picture of it when I posted on Instagram yesterday, and normally the photos I take from here are much better than what I think you get on here on the computer. And so that's why I always tell you guys afterwards, like, go to, you know, either Instagram at Menaceart and click follow there or whatever, you'll see it soon. Or go to Brian Coates Paintings on Facebook. There's a page for that. And that either one of those will show the photo. But like I said, last night's actually, it looked better on here than it did in the final photo, like in the photo I took. And the only reason I know that is because I was looking at the video to make highlights for the, like I said, the part where I thought my dot became so, you know, self-aware. And when I was doing that, I was like, whoa, wait a minute here. Like, that looks pretty good. Like, it's showing across nicely. And then I went and I checked my my photo, and I was like, ooh, the photo doesn't look so hot. It didn't look bad, it just didn't look as good. And so I'm wondering, like, how these textures are coming across, if the colors are showing up as like a variant. You know, does it look like a collectible figure? That was one of the stupid things from like the other night. Again, my friend came by, who I've been trying. I wanted to give him this painting a long time ago. It was of Saint Michael defeating the devil. It's a painting that it's an image, I should say, that he's always had a pretty good connection with. His name's Mike. First off, I mean, that's kind of, you know, always going to have a connection that way. But anyway, I mean, that's just a no-brainer. But the, you know, it was like something that he found strength in, kind of thing. And you know, he's had some shit that he needed some strength with, you know. And it's not my place to go into, and I won't, and whatever. But yeah, it's very personal for him, and he's used a moment of pain to turn into a fight for something that he very much believes in, and that's fucking amazing. And I wanted to support him when I can, and I don't have money, you know. I'm broke all the time. Literally, this past paycheck was like an extra paycheck, and it's gone. So there's like, I have nothing left from it because I had to use it for other stuff, and I'm incredibly disappointed because I thought I'd have like a little extra to be able to throw to my credit card or something. Nope, it's gone. And the only thing like I could say was like kind of poorly spent on, I'll say, would be like drinks and stuff and food at the Renaissance Fair. Like maybe I went a little bit overboard there, but not really. Like certainly not any more than I usually do, but usually it used to go on the credit card, and it was just like, okay, we don't have to worry about that this time. But I was just bought on food and things I need around here, canvas, you know, stuff I was hoping to use sales of prints from, like the prints of the tulips, but you know, I had to use a check anyway. Anywho, like I said, I don't have money to really give to him for his cause, but I was like, look, I wanted to give that painting to him because I was like, I said, look, he can donate it. He can do what he wants with it. He can, yeah, I shouldn't say that. He can do it. He can try to auction it, maybe try to sell it, do whatever he wants to do with it. I'm like, dude, it's yours. I want to support you the only way, unfortunately, that I can. You know, I wish I could do more, but this is what I can do. And I was telling him though. I don't remember what I was telling him. I was trying to talk about something. Shit. What was I just talking about before I started mentioning that? Fuck. This is why I hate my fucking brain anymore. It was so bad. So bad. It wasn't great to begin with, but now it's just fucking a mess. Anyway. Oh, a variant, right? I think I was talking about variants. I said something about a variant. I'll just, if that's not what I was actually going to talk about, I'm going to talk about that. So I'm trying to finish this up, but I know I'm going to do it now. It's too late. I'm going to have to dump all sorts of oil on this stuff. Anywho, I was telling him, yeah, you can't see it on here anymore. I forgot. I changed the cameras all around. You don't see any of these things. All around this studio here, I have a bunch of Episode 3 Star Wars figures. Okay, I should say I have a bunch. I have all of them. Okay, from Obi-Wan number 1, Anakin number 2, all the way to the very end of it. Which shit, I don't remember which character it is, but anyway, it doesn't matter. And I have like all the variants and stuff, and like all the like the exclusives. And I was explaining to him how when I started collecting these figures, my wife and I, like very shortly afterwards, moved into a townhouse in Malvern, and we were checking out the place, and it was a 3-bedroom townhouse, but it was just me, my wife, and my daughter, Alexis, my oldest. Oh. Okay, stopped. Okay. Anyway, so we're looking around the place, and there's this 3rd bedroom, little tiny thing. And I said to my wife, I was saying to the landlord or whatever, or property manager or whatever, I said to her, I said, you know, I was like, yeah, this is going to be my art studio. And I started talking to her, you know, we're just talking. And I said to my wife, I said, so when we move in here, I'm going to put all my Star Wars figures all along the wall. So I'm going to get all of them up there. And she's like, oh, great. I'm like, hey, this is going to be my nerd room, my studio. I'm going to be happy. And I said, and watch, I'll get all the figures I want to collect, and you'll end up pregnant. And I'll have to take them all down. And I'm saying this right in front of the property key, property manager or whatever. If I ever could find her or use her as a witness, but she probably doesn't even know who the hell I am anyway. But anyway, she's like, you are. Yeah. Anyway, so I said that, and so I was collecting episode 3 figures, because that's what was coming out at the time, and I was doing really well, and I was, for the most part, paying nothing really more than retail. There were a few rare ones I had to, like variants and stuff that I had to I paid a little extra for, but I would not pay a lot of money for. I'm a good figure hunter. I like to only pay what they're selling for in stores. But there was one figure that had eluded me. It was a Target exclusive Darth Vader full, Vader costume with a lava reflection paint job on him. And I had seen it in the store once, but I hadn't been able to pick it up at that time period because I didn't have the money at that point. And I was like, oh, all right, well, I'll come back like... it was literally one of those things like, I'll come back like literally in 2 days when I get paid, and I'll pick it up. And of course it wasn't there at that time. So I went to Wizard World Philly, and it was a Sunday. I waited till Sunday because I know that's when you get the best deals for figures usually. Everybody's trying to just sell their stocks, so you wait. If you go to cons, that's an important thing to know if you don't know it already. So anyway, I'm wandering through, and sure enough, there's Target exclusive Darth Vader lava reflection. Alright. And the guy had it up for sale for $50, and I was like, I looked at the guy and said, how much do you want for this? And he said, it's 50. I said, yeah, how much do you want for it? Like that. He goes, sell it to you for 25. I was like, done. And so I was like, alright, that's cool. And so I got my figure, I was like, okay, since it was the last one I needed, I was like, I'll pay 25. Like, that's really what I was like, alright, literally it was the last figure. I had everything else at that point. And this was right around my birthday, so it was like June 19th-ish or somewhere around there. And the following week, we were doing like a little mini vacation to Hershey Park. And it's just me, my daughter, and my wife. And we're getting to the park, and starting to plan out what we're doing. And she goes, I don't think I should go on any rides. I said, what do you mean? She goes, I'm late. You're late? She goes, yeah, I'm late. I was like, oh. Like, how late? She goes, I'm late. I was like, ooh. Okay. I said, well, all right, are you sure? I'm like, you sure? I don't want to risk it. I'm pretty sure. And we had been trying to have a baby. We had been trying previously to have a baby. And we had been told that we were infertile by fertility doctors. And turns out they're all lying pieces of shit. But anyway, because the one time they told us that it was me and I had like a terrible sperm count or whatever, and the other time they told us it was her and that she couldn't, like her tubes weren't connecting properly or whatever. Anyway, sorry. I just get a little touchy about it because it was like, dude, you guys flat fucking lied to us. Anyway, but we had given up on that point because like the doctors were like, oh, well, the only way you guys are gonna have kids is like with a $10,000 surgery. We're like, okay, well, we're not doing that. We don't have $10,000. And sure enough, like a year later, it was just a matter of like, okay, well, I started working out a little bit, and we were just a lot more relaxed in certain situations. So, anyway, I digress. But sure enough, like I said, I had just bought this fucking figure. I had just rearranged my whole studio so that this figure would be my centerpiece. And so she tells me this. And I'm like, okay, you know. And next chance I had that I really could talk to her alone, because we didn't want to tell Allie yet, you know. We weren't sure, we hadn't taken any tests, and my wife and I are very superstitious in that regards, because we were, I should say, at that time. Because, you know, like I said, we had been trying. We had been failing. So we're like, if this is real, we don't want to tell anybody until everything's a little more stable down there and the kids are like hanging on tight, you know? And so I was leaning over to her, I was like, you know, I just bought that last figure. Now I gotta take them all fucking down. And she goes, I know. I'm like, I gotta take down the figures that I just rearranged, because now you're pregnant, like I said you were going to be when we looked at the damn place. She goes, I know. I'm like, the kid should be named Anakin. And she said, no. I'm like, but Anakin was the last figure I needed, and now you're pregnant. And I got Anakin as Vader, because I can't call the kid Vader. And she said, and you can't call the kid Anakin. It's a made-up name. And I'm like, they're all at some point were made-up names. I mean, I'll point out that my wife's name is literally, the definition of it is the hearty plant that grows on Scottish hillsides. You know, my son's name is a derivative off of the Veni Vidi Vici statements of, you know, victory, and, you know, like, everybody's name's fucking made up at some point. Or was. So I'm just pointing that out. But anyway. But I got vetoed. I was not allowed to name my son Anakin. So then I chose a name, and I say this again, I like to make this clear because I think people get confused sometimes. Despite my love for Van Gogh, Vincent was not named after Van Gogh. It was a name I liked a lot, first off. And I do believe in picking names with meanings. Like, I don't like to think of names as guttural, just noises that you pull out of your mouth. You know, like, so Vincent's name was chosen at a time when I know certain things were going on with my ex-wife, trying to manipulate my daughter, who is now moving into that age bracket where she could kind of make her own decisions about where she wanted to live. I know my ex was kind of trying to use her other daughter on that side. It's kind of like a, hey, Allie, why don't you come live with me? You know, because you can be with your sister, and you know, it'd be so great. Blah, blah, blah. And I knew she was kind of using that. And, you don't have any siblings over on your father's side, you know, that kind of thing. And you know, I could have countered that too, technically, I guess, beforehand, even with like, well, yeah, you don't have any siblings on this side. So you get your room to yourself, you get your time to yourself, you get whatever. But, you know, at least I thought to myself, she can't use it now with this new kid on the way, because it's like literally like, look, you're going to have a sibling over here soon. It's coming like soon. You know, and it was like I found it a great balancing of the, you know, of the force. You know, but it really did kind of like work out that it's like, all right, well, now she couldn't use that anymore, you know, because it wasn't true anymore. She had siblings on her, had one on the way. And so Vincent's name And also the other thing too, Vince's name actually has a double meaning kind of thing going on, because he's also the only Coates male in the family of his generation. I mean, I'm obviously a Coates male too, but anyway, of his generation. So he's got, you know, a bunch of female cousins, but there are no Coates male cousins. He does have a male cousin on my brother's side, his stepson, but that's it. You know, and he's a stepson. He's not a Coates per se. Like, he's still got his father's name. So it was like, all right. So Vincent is the guardian of the name, so to speak. They said lest his sisters decide not to adopt their husband's names or they'll never get married or whatever. All cool. That's if they want to do that. That's fine. But anyway. So his name means Victoria's protector. So to me, it was like he was kind of saving his sister from being put into a position that I know she was being placed into in a sneaky, you know, dirty means. And I was not happy with it, you know, because we had just beaten the custody case, like, kind of thing, like a year earlier, kind of situation, and so it was like, I know what she was doing because she wasn't happy about that whole losing the custody battle. She thought she had it in the bag because she'd already been through one for the other daughter, and it was like the courts. I mean, it took them no time to win that one, and she wasn't expecting me to fight back, to be honest with you. When I did, that pissed her off. And then when I won, that pissed her off even more. And look, I have all sorts of wonderful beliefs, and maybe they're not 100% true. I don't know. They fit logically with our history, let's put it that way. With my ex and I's history, that they make the most sense as to why things were being done the way they were being done. And so that's why I was used off of it. Because I could predict her behavior if I used that. If I use those certain things as guidelines, which is what I did, there were a lot of times I was not surprised by my ex-wife's maneuvers. The second she went into the custody battle with the father of her other daughter, I went in contact with a lawyer immediately. And as soon as I did it, I said, "Look, she's coming," and I said, "I want to be ready." And they're like, just because she's having a custody battle with the other. That's what my lawyer said to me. I was like, yeah, listen, she's coming. Like, I was like, you know, it was like, winter's coming. Like, I don't know when, but it's probably going to be within a year. And almost to the day. Again. And it's funny, because when I was younger, like high school and shit like that, I studied, like I was very much into, like, I lost my Catholic faith, and I turned towards a Wiccan faith for a while. And one of the reasons that it appealed to me was that it sort of explained certain things, I guess. I don't believe it anymore. I wouldn't start that before anybody starts trying to convert me. But they'll probably try it just as hard with what I was about to say. But anyway. the thing was that I always had this natural inclination or ability, I guess, to predict things to some degree with relatively good accuracy when it would kind of come up. Most often based on, like, it would be someone's reaction to something or you know, it's just weird little elements like that, I guess. Not like cold reading or anything like that. It was just sort of like a thing I could kind of do. And so the Wiccan faith's like, oh, fucking, you're psychic. Like, oh, okay, well, okay, Whereas Catholic faith was like, you're a witch. And I was like, well, now I am. Anyway, and there were certain elements that did seem to fall in line with that. But then what I think I figured out eventually is I was just really good at reading people, like, and their basic reactions and certain things, like especially, again, my ex-wife, when we were together, I'd gotten to know her very well, and so when we were together, and then when we weren't together even, I was still able to use those old beats of our relationship to figure out certain things. And like I said, it was much more of I guess it's definitely more of a scientific solution to it, I kind of say exactly what it was, but there's just certain tics and stuff that she would have, and I find in a lot of other people that it's like, okay, well, now I know when you're, I know when you're bullshitting me, I know when you're not bullshitting me, kind of thing, usually. When I'm being drug into something that's it's actually what gets me in trouble the most at work, because like my customers will try some bullshit and it's like, I know you're bullshitting me, and I try to prevent your bullshit from affecting my company's bottom line, and then my people go complain up the deck a little bit, and then it's like, okay, well, you're still and they'll tell me like, oh, we'll go ahead and just do this thing that costs money. It's like, wow, okay, but they're full of shit, right? Like, well, it's just this one time. No, they've done this before, and I could go find it, even if I hadn't been the one to deal with them. I had a situation like that not too long ago either. Pissed me off really badly too, because I was like, yeah, these things are non-returnable, and they've been on site for 3-4 months, and you have 90 or no, 3-4 months. It was in March, so it was like 6 months. So I was like, you guys have been on site for a very, very long time. They're non-returnable items. They're built to order, and whatever. And then the plant authorized a one-time exception, but then I literally took about 30 seconds, looked up into that person's history, and I found 4 other attempts, or not even other attempts, successful one-time exceptions from the same 2 jobs, basically. And I was like, holy shit, this guy doesn't give a flying fuck. And his sales engineer, who is the one who really put pressure on my boss to get it done, doesn't give a flying fuck about our company's bottom line. I would have brought it up if I was my boss. I would have taken that up to his sales, the sales manager, and run that past them about the fact that they've snaked past us, 3-4 times on this same job that's been on site for so fucking long, because the customer changed their mind at the end. Well, that's great. They should have fucking done that before the shit shipped, especially because there were like 3 or 4 cases of them telling us about how badly they need them on site. Anyway, I digress. But again, it's like one of those things where it's like I can hear the person on the phones waver on their voice, and I know they're fucking lying to me, And I knew it. I knew he'd already done this because I could just tell in the way his indignation about it. And I knew they were fucking lying to me. I hadn't dealt with either of those cases. Those other ones where they'd gotten special exceptions. They weren't my cases. I never touched them before I looked for them. And once I found them, I was like, you son of a bitch. Well, I take that back. I won't. I want to make sure I'm clear on all my statements in case anybody ever goes fact checking me later. I had touched one of the expedite cases where they wanted on scene. You know, we needed this on site immediately. You know, back in March or whatever. That I had one of those, but all the return ones I had not touched. But I knew that it happened just because the way the guy had pulled his bullshit, and I knew it. But I got in trouble for trying to defend my company's fucking pocketbook. Anyway, so like I said, when you hear me complain that this place is a piece of shit, it's a piece of shit all the time. I don't want to stop. If I stop tonight, I won't sleep, so I'm gonna just keep going until I finish these fucking stones. Anything else is just, you know, popcorn at this point. But I gotta finish these fucking stones. So I'm just trying to jabber on for a little bit more and figure out what I'm going to talk about. But yeah. So like, and I'll put this into another personal exhibit though. A situation has arisen from a friend of mine that, you know, he was accused of some shit, and you know it's serious shit. It's serious shit that he's been accused of, you know, and I wanted to talk to him about it, but he had some stuff going on. I still want to now. I want to sit down and actually have a really good talk with him, just to. On a different level, like it's more just to find out how he is, how he's holding up now. If he sees this, I just want to know why. I want to talk to him. I know that, yeah, it's more cool. The first one was just about call it fact finding, if you will. The first time I said I wanted to talk to him, but we talked. Now I wanted to do it in person originally, but I didn't need to. I talked to him on the phone, and that's all I needed for my convincing. Because, again, as I said, I'm really good at telling when people are bullshitting me, and I've known when this guy's bullshit me before. Not necessarily on a bad reason, you know. It's just something that was being said. I was like, yeah, I know it wasn't really 100% accurate, and that's fine. I'm not lying. You know, I don't. It was something that would have kept his. Keep him a little more, you know, ego inflated at a time when he really needed it back then. So I want to point out what it's about. So I didn't mind him, you know, white lying to me at the time. You know, it was probably more than one occasion, I will say. It's just that I know when they were. And the thing I know more is that when I spoke to him on the phone this most recent time, and I asked him directly about the things that happened, he did bullshit me. And so I know the person who's accused him of this stuff, unfortunately, is full of shit. Well, I don't even want to say that. I don't want to say it that way. That's too blunt. I don't want to say they're full of shit. I want to say that they are, in hindsight, looking at things that no longer, like they are unhappy with what the results of how things worked out back then, and now they've been reinterpreted. So I do believe that they believe everything that's going on. But the stuff that she's done, that she's saying, are just flat out character assassination attempts. And I know my buddy. Like I said, I know when he's lied to me. You know, and just tried to, like I said, boost his own ego in a sense and stuff. And I know the voice I heard. And again, when I hear voices on my phone all the time at work, I know when people are shitting me then. He had none of it. He had not one iota of it. So I know he's not full of shit. I think in the end what it was is it boils down to him and this person, you know, were in a very long relationship, and unfortunately it did not end well between them, and you know, decisions were made based on staying together forever kind of situations, and that didn't happen, unfortunately. And then I think she ended up hearing about other things that are kind of very personal, and it would be no one's business but him, and I would say his family in general, but it's really probably even more personal than that. But anyway, and I think she went, okay, well, I feel like these things were kind of what happened, and now, because this is something I hear about, I'm now thinking that this is definitely what happened. I don't know how to explain that better, but... And I really have to specify that I'm not somebody that would... Like, alright, here, like... Because it's a very similar thing to what's going on, say, with the Supreme Court selection here right now. Though it's slightly different. And I want to explain the slight differences while I'm continuing to work on this stuff. With the whole Kavanaugh situation, they're talking about stuff like, okay, well, why didn't she come out sooner? Why didn't she do this, that, the other thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And the point isn't necessarily why didn't she come out sooner, so much as it's a point of, look, they've asked this guy a couple questions before, and his answers have been dodgy. Not necessarily related to this exact situation with Dr. Ford, but they've asked him situations about things, and he's just been kind of dodgy with them. And so I think when it comes time now that you start asking about these other allegations where now he's being dodgy and, there's a couple times where he's giving answers where literally, like, instead of actually answering a yes or no question, he'll say, like, well, the four other witnesses have said this never happened. It's like, well, wait, that's not what they asked you, per se. They wanted you to state one thing or the other. And it was simple things like, did she lie? Did the testimony we heard this morning, was this a lie? And I guess, here's the thing. Like, I have a hard time believing that somebody would have made a story up to tell their therapist 6 years ago in the off chance that that person would end up being nominated to the Supreme Court. That's a little bit of a logical stretch. That would be some hell of a planning ahead sort of situation. That would borderline on psychic powers of, I am going to create this false statement 6 years before it's necessary. That's a little dodgy. Yes, are the procedural things that the Democrats fucked up with? Absolutely. Okay, I want to point that out. But I'm a firm believer that there's enough smoke in the room, because this isn't a criminal trial. This is a hearing to find out if he's worthy to be elected into or assigned a position in the highest court in the land for life. This isn't a criminal trial so much as it is a job interview, and it's one of those things where, if you heard this much shit around a candidate for a job, you ain't hiring them. Think about someone goes on you go to a job interview or whatever, and they were digging through your Facebook page, and they, alright, so they go through mine, but mine's private, so you'd have trouble doing that, but I'd be questioning how they got there. and then I have a lawsuit against my hand somehow against Facebook, I'm sure. But like, okay, they see complaints about your job, or better yet, like they see, you saying you're doing your job and then you're fucking around or something like that. I don't know. We have one employee that she posts an awful lot of stuff when she's like supposed to be at work, and she's like, I'm going to get my hair did, and she's going for a few hours a day. And, anyway, I digress. Again, I work in a piece of shit place, but I'm not kidding. And like I said, I believe that there's a chance that these two people may be interpreting a similar event differently. A la my friend and his, but there's enough other people coming through, and again, I don't know. There's enough smoke surrounding Kavanaugh that he shouldn't be elected into this position. I know that's like totally against everything that the Senate Republicans are after right now, because like literally they selected him. I'm sure they gave Trump a list and said, "You pick this guy." But listening to what I heard today and stuff, it's just like, look, he's not. It's not even like well, there's a character thing, because once they started really like pestering on him, he starts spitting out conspiracy theories and stuff like, that's not a judge. Get the fuck out of there. It's not a Supreme Court judge. Get out. Like that alone would have been enough to me. Get the fuck out of here. Answer the questions, yes or no. Don't sit there and start spitting that it's the fucking Clintons and shit. Like, you start saying Alex Jones type shit, get the fuck out of the fucking thing. You've clearly designed that you are not capable of being rational in a real high pressure situation. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway. So like I said, I'm on a looser side, or a far lefter side, or whatever, the Me Too movement. I would definitely fall under that. Like I said, I would fall under. I like to believe myself to be generally a feminist, and outside of hockey season, and only when I'm listening to hockey. During the rest of the day, I'm fine. But anyway, I'm just an asshole during those 3 hours or so. Maybe like a little bit afterwards. I try to process the game. If there was a loss, or whatever. But anyway, I'm always concerned I sound like a raving fucking maniac when I'm saying shit like this, or like a complete dick or something. But I'm just trying to say what I'm. And I'm sorry if you're one of the people that believe that Trump actually did a deep dive to select Kavanaugh as his pick. You're out of your fucking mind. You don't know how this administration's working, because there's not a bit of fucking research done on fucking anything. It's pretty clear if you actually watch one. Then again, there are people that actually believe him when he said, "Oh, I meant to be funny to the UN the other day," when I told them that I accomplished more than any other president before me, even though I've actually said that exact same line at rallies, trying to get my base to support me. Anyway, I digress. We're nearly there, I think. I want to put in a few because I mean, like, I'm doing a highlight here, but it's like, you know, it's got points that it's good to be. Okay, you know what actually might work very well there? Let's put a little bit of olive green, like just enough to. I'm mixing with that yellow a little bit. Like, okay, here's like some divide here, you know, like. Yeah, we're pretty good. I like that. Maybe lighten up a little bit right there, just to give it like a textural, judicial system. And here, I'll go into another one real quick, by the way, just because I do want to make it all fair and balanced and stuff like. All right. Maybe it's not fair and balanced. Maybe it's like even worse. I don't know. Like, I remember a buddy of mine got to meet Bill Cosby at an art show of his, and I was so jealous. And then, like, all this shit's come out, and you know what? He can go. Not my buddy, Cosby. Can go fuck off. All right. I'm kind of glad his ass is in prison now. That being said, there were a bunch of people today as they were on it wasn't Kotaku, it was one of the sister sites, Splinter maybe, or the Root. I don't remember exactly which one. People were on the comments making like prison rape jokes. You guys can go fuck off too. That ain't cool. All right. Send his ass up the river. You know, absolutely. You know. But like. Rape and assault on either side, on any end, and I don't care if you say, well, he did it too, so he gets it in return. No, man, that's bad either way. Like, there is no good version or one that's comfortable. So just fuck off with that. That's all I want to say. Otherwise, let him rot. You know, that's fine. But go fuck off with like the pudding pop jokes and shit and all that. That shit ain't cool. And on another kind of similar note, though, I read this one a while ago, and it got cleared up a long time ago. But if you guys had seen, there was a while where somebody was kind of saying that something like that happened with George Takei, and you know, obviously not a woman, it was a gay man saying that he thought he was possibly assaulted by George Takei, and then they finally actually like somebody described like or the way he described his event that he supposedly went through, like they were saying that they thought George drugged him, and like the person who there was like a doctor who read that and went, no, you weren't drugged, you literally had like basically like a mini stroke. It was actually and they went through and like literally like figured out like all the here let me show you why, and it was it's pretty good. And George was like, you know, and George had emphatically denied it, you know. And look, I know plenty of people that met George Takei and would have easily been subject to if George was like that type of person. And George didn't do it. So it was like, and now they're doing like a contest where you can go have lunch with George Takei, and I'm jealous. I would like to do that, but I can't. Because I know I wouldn't have like the time off to do it right now. I'm jealous. Whoever wins that fucking with George and Brad, it'd be a fucking awesome time. Alrighty. I think we're gonna be. I'm just trying to make that not quite as fucking like, oh, this is the blue area. You know, I want to divide it, but I don't want to be like. That's fine. We're good. Alright, we'll call it that. It's late. It's later than I wanted to go, but I had to finish it. There's not a 100% guarantee I won't hit it up again a little bit on Sunday's stream. Sunday, the stream will be 7:30? Right? 7:30, 8 o'clock, probably 7:30, but it's always a contingent on, like, where my family's eating dinner at and how late dinner goes, etc. I think we should be home this weekend, so yeah. So get those fucking Ranger goals off my goddamn updates, especially because... Wait. I swear to God, I looked at this earlier, and it had the Flyers as having the final score be 3-0 Rangers. And now it tells me the Flyers lost 4-2. I'm so confused. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that's going to be it. Thursday, or no, Sunday. Today's Thursday. Sunday, 7:30 to 10ish still, right? Because The Walking Dead's still not back. And I have the feeling we're only going to have to worry about The Walking Dead for 6 episodes. I have the feeling once Rick's dead, I'm done. So, and that'll be it. And have a good night, guys.